Luis says, this all sounds like younger men. What about 55 plus years old, typing while you're talking in point one and two? Yeah, Luis, it's one of those things where a lot of times we think because somebody's at a different age that they're going to act differently. And when people get older, they do act a little bit differently, mostly because they don't have the same kind of energy that they had when they were younger, or because they've gotten burned when they were younger, or any of that kind of stuff. But I promise you, Luis, they still have these things going on inside of them. They still feel these things inside of them. It might just be a little bit different in how they express it, or they might be better at not expressing things. And going back to the thing that we were talking about earlier with the test, that can be a really good way of finding out with them, is just accusing them of it, being like, hey, like, I noticed that you're doing this and that, and I think you're really attracted to me, and they might deny it or whatever and be like, okay, like, and then you bring it up again later and you're like, like you did something again, right? And accusing them of it. That can be a really powerful way, because it can bring that stuff out. And if a guy is just very, very like matter of fact, like, no, that's not what's going on, then you know that it's not any kind of thing. Whereas if he's emotional about it, the more emotion he has about something or around something, like if you accuse a guy of liking you, if you're like, oh, I can tell you're totally, you keep giving me, that's the best way, in my opinion, to do it, is to accuse him of giving you a look. You keep giving me this look, I can tell you're really into me. If there's no emotion there, he's not really into you. If there is emotion there, he feels like really awkward or whatever, there's probably a lot there, right? And the more emotional he is, the more there probably is there. And in my opinion, that's the best way to kind of figure things out there. For a guy who's older, like I said, he might try to hide things more because he's gotten burned and he's been attracted to a lot of women in the past. He's been really attracted to a lot of women. And so he probably has more wisdom around it, and he might be better at controlling himself, and his energy levels are probably less. So that can affect it as well, right? Because if he just doesn't have the energy that he used to have when he was younger, he might not express a lot of these things in the same way. Good question there, Luis.